So, before we get started talking about today's project, I kind of feel like ranting a bit, and not about anything in particular, just about my morning. So this morning, I had a pretty mundane task to do. I had to go get my car inspected. Just something, if you're not from this area, you got to do that periodically in order for it to be legal to be on the road. And it should have been fine. And I got there, and turns out I couldn't get it inspected because my registration had run out last month, and I didn't notice. So I went to the registry to get that updated, and waited for about 20 minutes for my number to get called, and then realized that they weren't going to take credit cards for payment for it anyway. And I didn't have a checkbook with me. So I left. Came home, registered online, and they take credit cards online for that. I don't know why. They do it there and not at the registry itself. Should have just done this in the first place. I don't know what I was thinking. I could have done it on my freaking phone from the inspection station. Anyway, but at that point I'm like, you know what? I'll just finish everything else tomorrow. It's fine. No reason to get all uptight about it. Had my breakfast. Came out to the shop. Sat down. Did my update. The one I'm doing now. And it was a great take. Except that at one point I glanced over at the monitor and I could notice that there's some hesitancy in the video, a little lag. And I'm like, that's okay, it'll be fine. Sometimes that doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it didn't, no. So, then I'm like, okay, great, this happens before, just reboot the computer, it'll be fine. And then I'll just get going, and it'll be great. And I start to reboot the computer, and the computer's like, no, you want to wait while these 18 updates happen. Like, okay. So, anyway, and here we are, 18 updates later, and one reboot later, and now we're going to talk about Earth Reborn. We are, actually. Yep, looks good. So that's what we're doing. All right, Earth Reborn, board game, miniatures game, miniatures game played on a board, or a board game played with miniatures. I don't know how that works. It's a dozen minis. They're soft plastic, and the interesting thing about these minis is they actually come pre-primed and ready to paint, which is aside from Dust Tactics, I don't think another game does that. The downside is they don't actually prep them before they prime them. Dust Tactics has the same issue, except that their quality tends to be a little bit better. But these aren't bad, and so I actually prepped them last week, or at least mostly prepped them. I was looking over and I noticed a few things that I missed. But the sculpts are really nice. There's some like zombie guys and some guys with guns, and really they kind of look like Infinity miniatures, if you're familiar with Infinity. And then there's this guy, and I actually got started on painting him last week. This is coal black, which, as any of you who follow my videos on a regular basis know, is one of my favorite colors. So. But it's not going to stay this way. It's going to get a cool camo pattern in a bit. Anyway, another interesting thing about this set of minis is they all have their own little custom base. And as you can see, the base has the little colored firing arcs on it, which I guess are really important in the game. And it's not even just one. There's like two, and we're not counting like rear arcs and stuff like that. So to keep those from getting screwed up, well, in the case of this guy, I was able to just pull him off. but it was still going to require some fixing. And rather than have figure that out for every single one of them, I masked the rest of them off using a low tack tape from Tamiya, and that should protect the bases, and it shouldn't tear that thing up when I'm done. And in fact, I think what I'm going to do is, before removing the tape, I'm going to hit them with the heat gun to loosen up the glue, and then should be no problems at all. Fingers crossed. But yeah, so I'm a little, like, my morning's gone, and it's going to be like 900 degrees out here today, and so yeah, I'm not even sure where I'm going to get started here. I guess maybe with this guy, since he's already started. He is called, wait for it. He is called the Mammoth Mark II. See, I have all these cards that have like little pictures of all the guys. Mammoth Mark II. And it also comes with Jeff Dealer, Zombie 2, Jacksaw, Cherokee Bill, Jessica Hollister, Zombie 1, Frank Einstein, James Wu, Professor John, I was going to say private, Professor John Kendall Jr., Lieutenant Vasquez, and Colonel Nick Bolter. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 minis. 12 minis, and this is for a client. These are not for me. If I was doing stuff for me, I would either be doing the Millennium Falcon, which I am going to do, or more dust stuff, because I love me some dust. But I should probably get going. As soon as I have something significant to talk about, I will be back. Whether it takes 5 minutes or an hour or 5 hours, I will be back. For you, it'll only be moments. And so here we go. Okay, just a brief update. I'm going to be doing some camouflage on this particular model, and as you can see here, I have done my first masking with blue tack, which is normally what I use to hold the models to something that I'll use as a handle, or maybe even just a big wad of it to hold on to. But I just wanted to show you, and it's going to, that'll be the first stage of masking, and then I'm going to go in and do another stage. So there'll be 3 levels of color here for the camo. Alright, be back in a sec. So there it is after paint. The 2 lighter colors ended up being a little closer than I had intended, but I think it still looks pretty cool. I really like the dark stripe, and I think once I get all the finish work done, it's going to be pretty badass. But in the meantime, I just figured I'd show you where it was right now, and so I'm going to get to doing some details. And I think I'm going to do some of the metallic colors, just block them in, and maybe do some shading on those, and maybe do some shading on the hull itself. I think I'm going to use a lot of washes on this, and it'll get some significant weathering too. So I'm going to start doing it. I'll be back. Whoop. So I've gotten the wash on here. I actually didn't use Nuln Oil. I used a mix of my own devising, using Liquitex Airbrush Medium as the medium, and then just some black. Really, nothing special. And my reasoning for that is that on large, flat surfaces, I don't like the way the Citadel shades function. They tend to get large, sort of drippy sections, and it's really easy to tell exactly what you did with those, specifically on large flat surfaces. So I avoid them when I can, and made my own. and I'm kind of happy with how that ended up. And then of course I did and I had already done the some metallic portions just to get things going with some lead belcher, and I'll go back and highlight those. And I did go back and highlight the hull and legs, doing some edge highlighting with my lightest color of my lightest mix of coal black with some really light gray, gray instead of white, to even make it more desaturated, not so much brightness to it. And then highlighted the areas around the damaged portions down here, to really make those stand out, and really some edge highlighting, but also blending it out, just to really make those things pop. And of course I did the little eye lenses there, just a standard sort of gem style. I am experimenting now for the dark upper side of using, this is Reaper Master Series red brick, and I like it. I've never had a good sort of premix dark shade for red that I've really liked, and this one I'm liking. I got a couple of sample bottles of the Master Series when I didn't order from them, and it had me, you know, I wanted to try them out. So since then I've been experimenting with other colors, and I like them. I haven't quite fully embraced them, I don't think, but whenever I do an order from Reaper, I'll throw on a paint or two, or if I think of like a triad that I want to try of theirs, I'll try it out. But at this point now it's just the reds, and I've got like a lavender color. So now I'm just going to go in and, you know, continue highlighting and trying to find, you know, other areas where I can detail it and make it just more visually interesting. And sometimes that's just a kind of seat of the pants proposition, you know, where I'm going in and going, oh, that little detail could be this other color, and that would be interesting. And, you know, seeing if there's anything I missed, and going back and like, I think I'm going to do something with these little bits of the gun right here, maybe give them a little bit of a color pop, maybe a little blue glow or something, and maybe do the same thing in the fronts. I kind of did the lights there, might want to go back over those. Yeah, you know, there's not a lot to this guy, but I'd like him to be as good as possible. By the same token, I don't want to spend forever on this because, well, he's one of many, and I want him to look cool, but I don't want to just, you know, don't want to spend too much time on it. Yeah, so that's it for now, and I'll be back in a bit and show you where we are. So one of the things I normally like to do on vehicles is dirty up the bottom area. In the case of walkers, that's the feet. In the case of like tanks, it's the bottom of the hull and the tracks. And the idea is that you know, whatever is contacting the ground is going to get dirty. So in this case, I'm just taking some burnt umber and going up and just sort of darkening the feet and making them sort of a dirty brown. You can go a lot of different colors with this. If you're thinking, you know, walking through a ruined city, you might want to use light gray for concrete dust. You can also do mud. Something I also like to do sometimes is damage the feet, you know, and I might go back and do that here, where I some metal chipping coming through, from where the feet have knocked against something. So whatever dirt may have built up is knocked away, and so is the paint, and so you end up with bright flecks. For now, I'm just doing this dirtying it up. So there, that's going to be good for now. I'm going to go do another pass with a little bit of a lighter color. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that, and I'll be back. So I'm moving on from the Mammoth Mark II, pretty much done at this point. But what I'm working on now is zombies. There's two of these guys, or really one guy, one girl. And this one has just a coat of Vallejo green gray. It's from the Flames of War line. It's like a German, I'm not even sure exactly what it's from. I use it on my dust models on my Axis heavy weapons. It's the standard color I use for that. So this one just has that, but it also has sort of an under shade. So this was white primer, which I washed over with some black to sort of pre-shade. And then I made my standard mix of about 50-50 paint to airbrush thinner, and that gives me a nice thin coat that I put over that, and that's what that looks like. And then this one has had a couple of things done. A wash of Athonian camo shade, which I really like over anything that's supposed to be well, green brown, and in this case green gray. And then I went and did a highlight pass with just more of the green gray, and then I'm going to do a third highlight pass with a lightened version of the green gray to get more final colors on that, final highlights. So yeah, so there's kind of step one and step, well, 3, I guess. We're not seeing step 2 at the moment, but I'm going to go ahead and do some more work on that, and then I will come back. Well, it seems I kind of got a little ahead of myself here, and finished these guys up before I had a chance to really talk about them. So why don't I talk about them now? So we did talk about the flesh tone, and I did do what I had meant to do, which was go through and do that final highlight. I also went back, and if you look at the top of her head, you can kind of see there's some areas where the flesh is sort of torn away, and those I did like a pink color, and I use for those things I use it's a Joe Sonia plum pink. It's like a very deep rose color, and then I wash it with red, and then touch it up with the pink again if I feel like it needs it. Oh, you can also see it in her legs there. And then I went around and I kind of outlined that area, the wound area, with a really light version of the flesh color, because, you know, that's sort of should be pale and disgusting. As it turns out, neither one of them had any pants. She's got some shorts on. He doesn't have anything. He's got this sort of, I don't even know, like almost like a straitjacket thing going on. Both of their eyes were done with dots of white and then dots of sap green, Joe Sonia sap green. An equivalent color would be like the old scorpion green. I'm not even sure what the current color is called now. I haven't memorized all those yet. I used the same. By the way, I used the same plum pink on her top. Washed it with red. I mean, it's really similar to the wound colors, but it also got a wash of Agrax Earthshade. I mean, they're zombies. They should be dirty. Same thing on her shorts. The shorts are actually a similar color to the Mammoth, that sort of blue-gray. And with a wash of coal black and then a wash of Agrax Earthshade to just dirty the whole thing up again. And they've also got these sort of metallic bits running all over them. I assume they're sort of kind of technologically reanimated zombies of some sort. But I like how they turned out. I think they're pretty cool, and I'm happy. Oh, I'm really happy that the tape didn't stick to the bases. Tape came right off. The sticker things have this sort of almost waxy surface to them, so I wasn't concerned about it, but you never know. And came right up, and any bit of sort of residual paint that I might have had on there also came right up. So they look beautiful. They look perfect. And I think that's going to be it for today. I have videos to do and editing to do, and I will get back into the shop just as soon as I can to finish all these up. But so for today, it looks like just the 3, which leaves me another 9 minis to do. 9 minis to do. So just those, and that's it. Now remember, I do these videos all the time, and if you liked this video, please like this video, and if you liked it so much that you'd like to see more videos in the future, be sure to subscribe, and you'll have more. You'll be more likely to see them in the future. So that's it. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.